So today, we're playing the Berserker, and we are playing an awesome build that pretty much does everything. From having good flat damage, to scaling a life, to having pretty decent heals, and also having block generation. With this whole setup, we have a ton of armor, we should be able to scale up our power pretty fast, and we should be able to deal that big damage while stacking up our life. And awesome. But hey, check this run out, and let me know what you think of this build. Okay, let's go and jump some rank games with the Berserker and see just what we can do today. Okay, awesome. First shop, we're going to be grabbing our sword. We're going to craft up the torch. I'm going to grab the whetstone, but I'm actually going to roll looking for another sword. First, we'll take the lump of coal though. We'll roll. We could take this broom. It is on sale. That's exactly what we're going to do. And let's roll again. Unfortunately, I'm actually going to roll once more. And awesome. And we're going to be selling our lump of coal so we can actually grab this wooden sword. And this is looking like a pretty good round one. I do want to grab our whetstone and our leather bag. Now, triple weapons is usually pretty darn expensive on stamina. With the utility pouch, our stamina's not going to be as much of an issue. We will eventually rock down, but with 3 weapons in the first round, we should be able to smash our opponent down pretty fast. And awesome. Just pausing the video here very quickly, just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. Crazy good round one. Super awesome. Now let's grab this leather bag for sure. Let's grab our whetstone. Let's craft up that hero sword. And we could go for good old gooberts, but I'm going to grab this undead phenomena and we're going to move on with this setup. And we still want our broom inside our utility pouch, because then the stamina goes down to 0.5 along with our weapons. Once you craft up a hero sword, we do want all our weapons around a hero sword. So it should be pretty awesome. Now this Reaper is keeping themselves alive with that shell totem, but smashing. Super awesome. Now let's slot that over, switch this to this side, fit that in. That's going to be pretty darn good. Now let's grab our health pot. I'm going to gamble and get this undead phenomena. And I'm hoping for something pretty good. Maybe the Amulet of Life, Amulet of Energy, Amulet of Wilds, the Amulet of Steel. We could try work around that, for sure. But first of all, let's grab this leather bag and we're going to move on. And we should have a good bit of DPS with our hero sword along with our torch and our broom. We should have a bit of healing with our health pot and our banana. And with our lifesteal from the utility pouch, we should be able to smash down this pyromancer, who actually had a lot of DPS as well, rocking his spear and a molten dagger. Let's grab our leather bag. Let's roll. That's a pair of gloves. We are definitely going for Falcon Blade. That is for sure. Now we do actually want to grab another undead filament, because if you get another arm of steel, it's going to be too good not to take. So we're going to grab the claws or the gloves for now. We're going to target our big old banana. We might actually reserve this undead filament, which means I'm just going to grab this leather bag for now and we're going to move on. However, we do need to roll quite a bit in the next round to try and find some blueberries and some gloves, that's for sure. We did want to prioritize increasing the speed of our torch, because that has a little bit of scaling damage, which should be fantastic. Now this opponent does have a lot of damage. They do have actually way too much damage for us. So unfortunately, yeah, we're going to fall short. They had a Hunger Blade, the broom, stones, and a shell totem to keep themselves alive, to stack down power. Their setup was just way too strong for our setup. We have a lot of storage not used up, which is unfortunate. And we got that blueberries, which is amazing. We're going to be crafting up. We got ourselves that armor and a flute actually. So if we want to win this rounds, we're going to grab this leather armor, which does mean we might actually have to let go of this undead filament, or should we just keep it? I think we're going to keep it for now. Let's grab this shiny shell. We can always sell it back for the same price, so we might as well put it in our inventory for this round, since we have the space for it. We should be pretty good, because now we get 1 empower, which does increase our weapon damage, and we should be good to go. Smashing down this ranger who has that card goobert, which is also pretty good. However, let's go ahead and grab our undead filament. That's the Amulet of Wilds, which is not too bad overall. I'm going to roll, which you could actually grab this turnip if you do want to. It would be mad, alright, and could end up falling short in getting our Falcon Blade. But I'm actually going to reserve it. I'm going to keep it 3 gold, going to move on. With the Amulet of Wilds, I do kind of want to grab it. But we're still going to craft up our magic torch, that's for sure. And we'll see how we get on with this setup. So far, not looking too bad. We are smashing down this pyromancer. Actually, not even going to be close. Awesome. And we could go for that blood turn if we do want to, but I'm going to leave out Blood Torn for now. Let's grab this. Let's grab our blueberries. Let's roll. That's a spike collar on sale, which is crazy. But first of all, let's grab this penny back. And let's grab this spike collar. Let's sell our shiny shelter roll once. And that's that falcon blade. And actually, okay, we have a crazy setup here. We're going to go for Thornbloom with another armor set, because we can stack up a lot of empower if we do get vampiric armors. With this, so we can stack up our life. And we do want to go for Falcon Blade along with Magic Torch. And we're going to go for an Anvil type situation today. We're going to move on with this situation. Now, our stamina could be way too much of an issue right now. Especially with all these weapons, that is for sure. Yeah, our stamina is rapidly declining. So we are going to want to solve that for sure. Once we get our Anvil, we should be in a pretty darn good spot. And unfortunately, our opponent is turbo stacking that spikes. And there's just not much we can do about that, unfortunately. Now, I'm definitely going to grab Anvil. We're going to run to Stamina Sec. And we are going to craft up this Thornbloom. We're also going to grab the gloves. I'm going to roll once. And that's another Undead Phenomenon, which we are going to grab too. I'll be back in a second while I sort our inventory out. So unfortunately, we do have a high chance of losing this round, because we are going to be crafting up our Falcon Blade. We're going to be crafting up a Thornbloom. We're leaving out our banana, which is going to be a bit of a rough spot, but it'll have to be this way for now. And we'll see how this gets on. We do have our scaling damage from our Magic Torch in this position on both our weapons. And we should be able to deal massive damage. We do have our Stamina Potion to make up for our banana. And awesome. This is going to be quite awesome for sure. Now I'm going to have our Falcon Blade in this position. Going to have our Magic Torch with a Thornbloom in this position. Now the problem is, with our setup, we're not crafting up our leather armors. We could go for Dragon Scale armor, but I'd much prefer getting vampiric armors. Now we do want to gamble. I do want to grab another one, another Amber Steel, which is going to be straight up amazing, not going to lie. We're going to grab this leather armor. We're going to roll, and we are going to want this storage pretty bad. But unfortunately, we're going to rock on with this setup for now. Now we could also grab this potion and healing herbs, and that is a craftable item, which I'm actually going to reserve for now. We'll see how this gets on. Our stamina is still going to be quite an issue. That is for sure. But we should be able to turbo stack our life once we get a vampiric armor. And we should be able to deal just enough damage to outpace our opponent. Which should be awesome. Now let's grab this leather bag. Let's grab our health pot. Let's craft this up. Going to sell a flame too. Should we grab this protective little purse? I think we're going to roll once. And we're going to sell another flame so we can grab another set of blueberries. We're going to move on once again. Now, our banana's still not going to be in, which is going to be quite rough. But we'll see. We do get a ton of life from these Amulets of Steel. We also get a lot of damage on our weapons. And this should be awesome. Smashing even. Now, we're going to grab this fanny pack. We might actually slot this over in this position. Fix this like so. And then have our Falcon Blade more in this position. Now we are going to want to grab this mana orb just so we generate a little bit more mana. I'm going to roll. That's exactly what we want. We desperately need that bloody armor. But I'm going to roll once more. And we could grab this stamina sop for this round. And the problem is our health pot just can't really fit into one of our craftable items. Which is super unfortunate. We could craft up this into a strong stamina potion. I do still want that bloody amulet, and we are going to move on. And we'll see how this goes for now. With our mana orb in, with our blueberries in beside our Falcon Blade, we should be able to turbo stack our mana. So we should have that scaling damage from our Magic Torch. That's for sure. However, is it actually going to be enough? Our stamina is still going to be a huge issue, even though we did proc our stamina potion. Unfortunately, it's still going to be a huge issue. But let's move on for now. Now, Prismatic Orb is also pretty darn good. We're going to be taking this potion bolt, that's for sure, so we can slot that in. We're going to be selling our flame, and we are going to be crafting this up for sure. I'm actually going to let go of the Prismatic Orb, which is madness in itself. And we're going to take out our banana for now, and we're going to have our rogue pushing in. And we're going to craft that up into a strong stamina potion. And we're going to move on. We're taking out one set of blueberries, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate, but we should have the mana orb to consistently scale up our damage. And we should be in a much better spot. Because once you have a vampiric armor in with 2 amps of steel, we should be able to turbo stack our life and smashing. Now we could be getting an increase in damage with our Falcon Blade in our Anvil, rather than using it on our Magic Torch along with our Thornbloom. But for right now, I did want as much of our stamina down with all these Star Slots Youth, which is why I had it in this position. But anyways, let's move on. Actually, we could change our setup around. We could have our fencing rapier in this, we could have our Falcon Blade in this position and actually move this out. And that would still achieve the same effect. Yeah, we probably should have had it this way for sure. Yeah, we should have actually had it this way for sure. Now let's grab this potion belt, let's go ahead and roll. We could craft up a mana potion. Or we could also get this shield. And we could also get the stamina potion, or the stone skin potion. And craft up stone armor, but that would eat up a lot of stamina. I think we're actually going to craft up a mana potion. Now I'm also going to continue to roll. We may actually want another spike collar. We're going to move on, and that is going to be smashing. We definitely want that. And we're going to move on with the setup. And we should be in a much better spot. We did move our Falcon Blade in, which what we should have been doing in the first place, because this literally uses damage from the Anvil twice. So we should be able to get a higher damage output. And so far, yeah, this is looking a lot better, smashing even. Let's check our DPS before we do move on. 42 DPS, which is awesome. Let's check our heals, which is not a crazy amount of healing. However, we did manage to get over 120 life stacked up, which is pretty darn good. And for block, we managed to get quite a decent amount of block. But this build is genuinely quite crazy, and I do believe we can actually make it a lot better, so we're going to move on. And we'll see how this goes for now. And we are going to want to grab this leather bag, that's for sure. We're also going to move this down a little bit. And we're going to change our setup to be more like this for this round. Now the problem with potions is they have to be stacked in this direction, because if we didn't rotate our whole inventory around, we actually wouldn't get the value stacked on top of each other. However, I much prefer having our setup to be more like this, that way we get that in power, which does mean we get even more life bow. We're going to have to keep it this way for now. And with the 2 arms of steel, we're going to be targeting both our armors. We do want to grab another vampiric armor. That's going to scale up our regen even more. Or that's going to scale up our empower even more. I'm actually going to sell all 3 for flames as well. I actually grab this hard container. Just because it's on sale, it is also going to stack up regen. And if we do manage to stack up enough regen, we will actually increase our life quite significantly. And we should be able to get there in time. However, opponent's dealing quite a bit of damage, but we're also doing an awesome amount of damage. Managing to deal just about 500 damage in 8 seconds, which is pretty darn good. Especially since we don't have any crit. With heals, our heals could be much better, but it is kind of a hybrid between CL and max life. And getting that heal from vampirism and our lifesteal from our utility pouch. And then we also got block, which is going to add to our defense overall. And it's only going to get better with a second vampiric armor. That is for sure. So our build is coming together quite nicely. However, I'm going to grab a set of pineapple and go on to roll. That is a prismatic orb if we do want it. That would give us mana from the very beginning. It also gives us a ton of vampirism. Yeah, we're definitely going to grab it. Now we did switch our potion order around because we are going to trigger our mana potion relatively fast. Which does mean we're going to get our stamina to proc then as well. Give us that power. And then once we proc this, we do get that regen, which should be fantastic, and a little bit of a heal. However, we are going to be losing that one value on Anvil right now. Unless we switch this potion in here like so, and then have this set up more like this. We do lose a little bit of value on our potions, but is that going to be actually worth it? It does give us actually way more damage. Now we could have our Anvil set up to be more like this, so we have our Magic Torch scale up the damage on our Thornbloom along with our Falcon Blade. But I genuinely think that this is actually going to be better in the long run. Mainly because that's going to give us 8 extra damage on our Falcon Blade. Which does mean our Magic Torch is going to have to hit 4 times to stack that up to actually scale up the damage. Which isn't quite a lot. However, I'm still going to prioritize this way because our Falcon Blade is going to increase the speed of our Thornbloom. Which we're going to have that stacking damage anyway from our pineapple along with our amethyst steel. And that does provide a lot of damage on the Falcon Blade. However, I still believe that this is going to be our most ideal way. But let me know if you have a different way of setting this up, or if you know a better way to set this one up. Because to be honest, this one has been a little bit of a head scratcher for me. Now unfortunately, this could be pretty bad, because if they're going to stack up a lot of debuffs, especially that blind, we could be in a lot of trouble. However, It's not looking too bad. We are stacking up a lot of life and smashing. Honestly, this build is a crazy fun. For sure. Definitely head scratcher trying to figure out the positioning of our weapons. But definitely head scratcher trying to figure out our weapons. But honestly, a lot of fun for sure. I did want to get a prismatic orb, and I do kind of want to slot it in this position. Because that is going to be a lot of vampirism. It's also going to give us mana, so we start stacking up pretty fast. Now the problem is, we do have a Wolpertinger right here on sale. However, we do have that strong heroic potion. So should we actually take the strong heroic potion? I'm going to reserve Wolpertinger for now, and I do want to roll once, twice even. And I'm actually going to sell one of our flames to grab this spike collar. That way we get 4 extra seconds in that battle rage. And I'm going to check if we are going to properly need this Wolpertinger in this next fight. We'll see. Now the problem is our opponent is going to be removing our buffs. They're going to get invulnerability with that King's Crown. So this could be problematic. They're also going to have battle rage for a long period of time. And it's looking like we do need Wolpertinger, but we are going to begin a shield. That's for sure. So we're probably going to add in Wolpertinger. It'll also start scaling up a little bit of our buffs, but have fatigue set in. And this is actually quite close. But battle rage doesn't last forever. And we should be able to smash after that. Awesome. Now we definitely need this Wolpertinger. That's for sure. Now that's another pineapple. And it's also a stone skin potion. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave it for now. However, we'll actually grab the stamina sack. That way we can actually add in our pineapple. Get that stack in spikes. And let's roll once more. Twice more actually. And that is another prismatic orb. Which is looking like we do want to grab. I would also like to grab this cheese, but unfortunately we won't be able to buy both of these. Because if we take the prismatic orb, we should have enough mana for the entire game. With a magic torch. And we should get a little bit more vampirism. Otherwise we take the cheese and we have the potential to scale up our max life even more. However, with the prismatic orb we do gain one of every buff, which will actually generate up a lot more buffs than the cheese. So I'm thinking we're going to take the prismatic orb. But for now, let's move on. We should be in a much better spot with this whole setup. We have a ton of armor. We should be able to scale up our power pretty fast. And we should be able to deal that big damage while stacking up our life. And awesome. Even taking on double fancy rapier. And our DPS now, since we added in our Wolpertinger, has increased drastically. Up to 94 DPS overall. Which is incredible actually. Falcon Blade dealing quite a bit of damage. With Stormbloom dealing that extra damage. Now the problem is we didn't actually trigger our strong heroic potion, but that should be totally fine. If you do come across someone with shield, this will help us out quite a bit. But I'm more happy that we're able to keep our consistent damage going. Rather than actually having to rely on that stamina potion anyway. But anyway, what's your heal is going to be? 35 healing per second. With 200 life stacked up, which is amazing. And then with our block at 32. So honestly, this build is pretty darn good. We got a ton of healing, we have stacking life, we have stacking block, we have stacking in power. I mean, just an overall fantastic build. Now we do have one more round to go. And we're going to have to choose right now. Do we want to stack more life? Or do we need to stack more buffs and have that vampirism from the very beginning? Giving us a little bit more healing efficiency overall. Because this prismatic orb is not going to be able to slot into a much easier position to get that vampirism anyway. And we could switch this up to this side. And we could fit this one in here. But it does mean we do lose that vampirism. But the prismatic orb is going to give us more buffs overall. Because in 8 seconds, it's going to give us one of every buff. Whereas in 8 seconds, the cheese is only going to give us 2 buffs. However, in 8 seconds, this is going to give us 20 max life. So in the interest of Stormbloom, however, every 8 seconds, we are going to get 10 life anyway. Because we're going to get 1 empower guaranteed from this. However, the cheese could give us empower. Very unlikely, but it could happen. Which would give us 20 max life in 4 seconds. However, the cheese is much easier to position for sure. Because we can either slot it in this position or over here too. Whereas our prismatic orb is going to have to slot basically in beside our other prismatic orb. So I'm thinking we're going to let go of the cheese. I think we're going to actually go for the prismatic orb. Now we do want to roll. Let's roll again. And I was hoping to find a tiny little bit of storage. Unfortunately. And with that, this is going to be our final build. We have one more goal. Let's roll once. And yeah, this is definitely going to be our final build. Honestly, it's been a ton of fun. Definitely been a head scratcher for position on our weapons, because we do want to increase speed from our Falcon Blade, we do want to scaling damage from our Magic Torch, we do want a stamina reduction on our Turn Bloom because this requires a lot of stamina. We do also want that damage on our Falcon Blade, and if we do put our Magic Torch in this position, we do lose that damage from the Anvil on our Falcon Blade, but we do get the scaling damage on both our weapons. However, I genuinely think that this is going to be our best position, an increase in speed of our Turn Bloom, while also getting the damage from our Anvil, while also getting that scaling damage on our Falcon Blade. So overall, this should be pretty darn good. Now with the 2 arms of steel, honestly has been really brought this build to life. Giving us a ton of life stacking while also increasing damage on our Falcon Blade, along with 3 weapons as well. So I do believe that this is going to win fairly easily. I say that I could be eating my words, we'll have to see. Now this could be problematic, I could actually be eating my words, because decreasing our speed is going to be pretty rough. However, we should be able to deal that big damage, but they're dealing that big damage too. They did resurrect, but it's going to be quite close, and just barely. Holy moly, was that way too close for comforts. But overall, smashing. Even with inflicting 42 colds, we still managed to deal 61 DPS. Still managed to deal 61 DPS, over 770 damage, whereas our opponents managed to deal nearly 1000 damage with 75 DPS, which is crazy in itself. Now with our heals actually went down because we weren't attacking as fast. Because if we're not attacking as fast, we're not scaling up our vampirism, we're not getting that lifesteal during battle rage. So unfortunately our life did go down. Now we still had a 200 HP, basically from our Turn Bloom, because our prismatic orbs went up to 15 seconds to trigger, which is crazy in itself. Now let's check our block. Block was pretty decent too, but overall a super well-rounded build with increase in damage, increase in life, decent healing, and decent block generation. I was just straight up crazy fun build. Definitely a head scratcher, but crazy fun all the same. But anyways, we did survive 4 lives left, so let's go and see just how much rank points we got. We should have got a ton from this. Plus 14, rank us up quite a bit. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep a lookout for the next one. See you next time.